Hi, friends. Good morning. Today we're going to review fractions as division. And if you're in my class, and I'm sure if you were in Mrs. Williams' classes, you talked about how every fraction is actually like a little division expression. So, for example, if you have the fraction 2/3, that's actually the same as 2, the numerator, divided by 3. The same for an improper fraction. Let's say 9/4. 9/4 is the same as 9 divided by 4. Always the numerator is the first number and the denominator is the second. So we have some problems that we're going to work through today to kind of refresh your memory about fractions as division. But I kind of wanted to go over really quickly when we're dividing what we're doing. And the first thing I want to remind you guys of is that we never, ever, ever share or divide people because that's gross. We're not going to divide people by cookies. You're not going to take a person, divide them up, and give them to give parts of a person to a cookie. No, 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 no. We're going to divide the cookies and share among the people. So when there's a word problem, let's say, like 7 puppies share a 5-pound bag of dog food. How much does each puppy get? So what's being shared or divided? Are we sharing the puppies? No, we're sharing what? The food. So we know that it's going to be the 5-pound bag of food divided by the number of puppies. Who's getting the items that's being shared? Okay? So in your slides today, there's a really great slide that shows you what the first number usually means. So the first number, 5, is what's being shared or divided. Usually it's food or money or toys or cards or string and ribbon. And then the second number is who is getting the items or what's getting the items. Is it people, kids? Is it containers that's getting the items, like containers of potting soil or paint? Are they bags that are getting the items? Okay, so when you do 5 divided by 7, we're not going to actually do 5 divided by 7 and try to do all the math. We're just going to say, 5 divided by 7 as a fraction is 5/7. Okay, so that means that when 7 puppies share a 5-pound bag of dog food, each puppy gets 5/7 of the bag of dog food. Okay, let's look at a couple problems that are going to be very, very similar to the problems that you're going to have for your practice. For these problems, let's say you get through the end and you're like, ooh, you look at your grade, you're like, oh, I did not do so good. You know, you can go back and correct yourself. Try to see where you messed up and fix it because that is what's going to help you learn. All right, so let's look at this fraction, 5/9. And it says, tell whether each statement about the fraction 5/9 is correct. Choose yes or no. Okay, so we just said that a fraction, so 5/9, is the same as that numerator being divided by the denominator, 5 divided by 9. And a little fun fact, that's where the division symbol comes from. So you see that division symbol? It's a line with 2 dots. Well, guess what? This dot and this dot means this 5 and this 9. This is the numerator and this is the denominator, okay? So 5/9, 5/9 equals 5 divided by 9. So A, is 5/9 the same as 9 divided by 5? And no. Is 5/9 the same as 5 divided by 9? Yes. Is 5/9 the same as 5 times 1/9? Ooh, tricky. If we multiply 5 times 1/9, we're going to multiply the numerators, 5 times 1, and then the denominators. Even though there's no denominator here, we all know that there's really a invisible 1. So 1 times 9 is 9, and that makes 5/9. So yes, 5/9 is the same as 9 times 1/5. 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 5 is 5. No. Okay, so the fraction 5/9 is the same as 5 divided by 9, or 5 times 1/9. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, for this one, I want to draw a model because I want you to see what it looks like when you're dividing a number by a number that you think is not going to work, like 3 divided by 4. Huh? How do you divide 3 divided by 4? You have a smaller amount of something divided by a bigger number. Well, let's take a look. We have 3 cookies. And we have 4 friends that want to share the 3 cookies. So we're going to divide each one of the cookies into fourths. So every friend gets one of those fourths of the cookies, okay? So if you're friend A, you're going to get that part, and that part. So how many parts are you getting? You're getting 3 parts, and that's 3 parts out of how many are in the whole? That's 4. So if we're going to do this in a mathy way, well, okay, right over here, that's 3 parts out of 4. Okay, are we going to share the cookies or the friends? We are not sharing friends. We don't do that. That's gross. We share cookies. So we're going to write, it's 3 cookies divided by how many friends? 4 friends. 3 divided by 4 is 3 over 4. That's it. I know some of you can take that and turn it into a decimal or try to divide it, but that's not what this is asking. It just wants you to get to 3/4 and stop. Okay? Answers can be shown in a lot of different ways too. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a question that is something like this, and I want to show you how all the different ways that we can show the same number, basically. So Cameron's preparing shrimp salad for 5 friends and himself. He makes 17 cups of shrimp salad. Which expression represents the amount of shrimp salad each person gets if they share it equally? Now, this is also a tricky question. Don't let it fool you. Cameron is preparing shrimp salad for 5 friends and himself. Okay? How many people are eating the salad? It's not just 5 friends. It's 5 friends and Cameron. So there are 6 people. Okay? He makes 17 cups of shrimp salad. Okay, friends, are we going to divide the people or are we dividing the cups? I'm hoping you said the cups. We're going to divide 17 cups by 6 people. 17 cups divided by 6. So the answer would be, in a fraction, 17 over 6. Okay? So wherever we see 17 over 6, we're going to circle it. Yes, that's right. 17 divided by 6 matches this one. Yes, that's right. 17 over 6 is an improper fraction. How would we write it as a mixed number? So let's think. 6 goes into 17 how many times? Well, we have 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. Oop, that's too big. So let's go back to 2. So 6 goes into 17 2 times. 6 times 2 is 12. How many more does it take to get to 17? So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 5. And the denominator stays the same. So 2 and 5 sixths. And oh, look, there's a 2 and 5 sixths. Okay? So be careful with questions like that. Make sure you know how many people we're talking about, because it says 5 friends and it's really easy to say, oh, okay, it's 5, it's 17 divided by 5, I know it. But it says Cameron and his friends. All right. 2 more. And not even 2 more. This one I'm just showing you really quickly. Nina has 8 bags of potting soil. She puts an equal amount of soil into 3 outdoor planters. Now, what is she dividing? Is she taking the potting soil and pouring it into different planters? Or is she smashing the planters and then putting the little bitty pieces by the different bags of potting soil? What makes more sense? I'm not even going to answer that for you because I think it's kind of obvious. If not, just think, is it easier just to pour the potting soil into 3 containers, or crash up all the containers and then give a little bit of the broken up pieces to each bag of potting soil? All right, for the last one, sometimes you want to ask questions and they're going to ask you between 2 lines between 2 numbers is a number following. So you're going to solve it and then you're going to kind of use a number line. So I put a number line down here for us. So Caitlin has a 30-foot length of ribbon. Ooh, that's about 30 feet. She cuts ribbon into 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The length of each piece of ribbon will fall between what 2 whole numbers? So what is she dividing? She's dividing the ribbon into how many pieces? 7. So each piece is going to be 30/7 of a piece. Okay? What is that as a mixed number? Because 30/7 doesn't really help us when we're trying to figure out between what 2 whole numbers. So let's turn this into a mixed number. 7 goes into 30 how many times? Well, 7 times 4 is 28, and that's really close to 30 without going over. So we're going to use 4 as our whole number. There's 2 remaining between 28 and 30, so that's going to be our numerator, and our denominator stays the same. So it's 4 and 2/7. Now, where on the number line does 4 and 2/7 fall? Well, we know already that it's bigger than 4 because that's our whole number. It can't be smaller because anything smaller would be 3 and something, so it's bigger than 4. And it doesn't quite get to 5 because otherwise this would be a 5. So 4 and 2/7 is somewhere between 4 and 5. So your answer is going to be C, 4 and 5 feet. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you missed your problems, go back and check. See where you made a mistake. A lot of times you'll have a big aha moment and go, oh, okay, silly me. That's where I made the mistake. And then you guys will do brilliantly on the test on Thursday. I am confident.